Everyone fails. It is by human nature to fail. No one, nothing is perfect. The Nuzlocke is the closest thing to perfecting failure. My name is Owen, OwenGC. And this is a story of my failures. The story of my first hardcore Nuzlocke. This is not my first attempt at a Blaze Black Nuzlocke. I've had so many runs before this, but they all ended the same way. All of them have died to her. The Nuzlocke challenge is unique, and it makes you deal with the permanence of every single choice and mistake you make. Every Pokemon you catch, every Pokemon that faints, it's all a reminder that you only have one shot at everything. One shot to do it all. But this run, attempt 21, it was different. But first, what is Blaze Black? Blaze Black is a difficulty hack created by Drayano, which aims to make a harder version of Pokemon Black. Everything about the game, barring the story, has been changed. From all fights getting harder with better and updated teams, movesets, and items, to Pokemon being completely revamped with new encounter locations, learn sets, typings, abilities, and stats. The shining example of it all is in the starter I choose, Smuggler the Snivy. Snivy is typically a very mediocre Pokemon, but just by changing the ability it has, Smuggler the Snivy is possibly one of the best Pokemon in the game. Contrary is one of the single most broken abilities ever created. Reversing stat changes allow Snivy to turn debuffs that no other Pokemon would want into an opportunity. The other two starters are of course good. Oshawott is immune to sleep with Vital Spirit and gets an additional fighting type later. And Tepig, with adaptability, makes its fire and ground type moves unstoppable. After the first two rival fights, which weren't too hard, I get my Pokeballs and I can finally get my first encounter. Larceny the Lillipup. Normal types are very powerful early game because very few things actually resist normal type moves. Lillipup is especially good because it can have Intimidate. This encounter is only second to the Starly I could have gotten, but Lillipup is still amazing. The end fight in Accumula Town is easy enough, but it is just straight up impossible to do without any other Pokemon if you pick Snivy. Everything leading up to second gym is relatively easy. Are there a few hard fights? Sure. Route 2 Bianca has a Technician Fake Out Meowth that can effectively 2-hit KO my entire team. But with a few careful switches and a new pickup in Forgery the Patrat, I'm able to push through. This leads me to the Dreamyard to get my last Pokemon. But before that is youngster Joey, who actually has a top percentage Rattata. Rattata, like many other Pokemon, has been blessed by Drayano, and was given a much better attack and speed stat, as well as the ability Hustle and Flame Wheel coverage, making this fight actually scary. No one dies, but the threat of a Pokemon dying here was pretty high. One crit was all it really took. My reward for all this is Piracy the Pampor, one of the best Pokemon all the way throughout the game, thanks to its early access to Scald. I also get lucky and win the ability coin flip and get Gluttony, which later turns into Unburden, an absolutely amazing ability. The Chiron fight in the trainer school is no problem and I get cut for beating him. The trainers in the gym are no issue either, but Chili's fight is a rotation battle, which is really annoying. All you have to know is that they add an unnecessary amount of luck and RNG to fights. But despite having a ton of fire types, they were all weak and they all fall to the combined power of Piracy and Larceny. I get through the first gym deathless. Just keep in mind, this is as easy as it will get. Every gym leader beaten raises level cap a little bit more. Chili's level cap was 14 and the next cap is now level 20. The Chiron fight on Route 3 is again no issue. Larceny, the now Herdier, Smuggler, and Piracy are all able to deal with his team. After beating Chiron, the single best thing for encounters is unlocked. Shaking Grass. Some of the best and rarest encounters can only be found in Shaking Grass, Water Bubbles, or Dust Cloud, or also known as Phenomena. I go back to Dreamyard and catch DUI the Onno in the Shaking Grass there. Onno is a very middling Pokemon, but is amazing for future encounters. By catching a Pokemon on an earlier route, you can reroll your encounter on a different route if you run into a Pokemon or an evolution line you already have. This is what is called encounter routing. Because I caught the Audino, and Audino is found in almost every bit of shaken grass, I'm guaranteed one of the 5 water starters, all of which are really good Pokemon. I get Assault the Totodile, who has the ability Sheer Force. Totodile is second only to Piplup, who has an amazing typing mid to late game and can have the Defiant ability for the next gym, but Totodile is still really good. After dealing with the Plasma Grunts on Wellspring Cave, I get him, Vandal the Gipple, but I'll talk more about him later. I get the Fishing Rod, which opens up many more encounters like the Strident City Pond, giving me Treason the Slowpoke, one of the few Pokemon with a weather setting ability. I make it to Nacrene City and I have one encounter left, the outside of Pinwheel Forest. I roll the dice and I get Arson the Tepig, one of the few Pokemon with a decent fighting move. There's one more end fight outside the gym, but he isn't too hard to deal with now that I have evolved Pokemon. The gym trainers are also nothing to worry about. Sure, there's Smeargle with Aeroblast and Sacred Fire, but Smeargle's attack stats are really bad. It's not long after I have to face her. I've entered the Eye of the Storm. Lenora is a run killer. Her normal types are especially deadly this early into the game, and this fight is a double battle. Lenora's 2 leads, Herdier and Stantler, both have Intimidate, dropping my attack by 2 stages, making whatever I lead severely weakened. In the back, she has a Ferret with Thunderbolt and Reversal. If I can't one-shot it, it will outspeed and kill something the next turn. Moody Bibarel is a win condition for her because of the randomness of Bibarel and Moody. Leave him on the field for too long, he just becomes unstoppable. Lenora's 2 aces, Watchog and Bouffalant, are the final roadblocks. Watchog has Super Fang, allowing it to have my HP no matter what. Can also put my Pokemon to sleep with Hypnosis, effectively removing that Pokemon from the fight. Bouffalant is her best Pokemon. High attack, high bulk, and an amazing ability in Sap Sipper, making him the perfect counter to my team. To add on to all of this, every single Pokemon has the move Retaliate, a 70 base power normal move that doubles in power after a Pokemon is KO'd. This move is effectively a base 210 attack after stab. To put it bluntly, I'm fucked. How will I deal with this? Let's go back to when I caught Gible. Gible was a Dust Cloud encounter, a 20% chance to get him. But Pokemon aren't the only things you can get in Dust Clouds. You can get an item completely unique to this generation. Gems. Gems are one-time use, 50% boost to any attack with the same type as the gem. Gems are essentially a one-time stab or adaptability boost. These can be the difference between a one-hit KO or getting KO'd. Gems are important as they are one of the few ways I can actually boost my damage. Battle items like Choice Specs, Choice Band, Life Orb are all locked behind post-game. There's one more set of items you can get in Dust Clouds, Evolution Stones. This is how I'm able to get a Simipour so early, and is perfect for how I plan on dealing with Lenora, the Piracy and Smuggler combo. Smuggler is able to turn the double Intimidate into a +2 attack boost before anyone moves thanks to Contrary, and allows me to make use of the new buff move, Cut, which was changed to be a base 60 grass move. But where does Piracy come in? Piracy has the highest speed in the game at this point at base 101 speed, and Piracy doesn't care about attack drops because the only attack it will ever use is Scald, a special water move. There is one more reason why Piracy is the best partner for Smuggler, Tickle. Because Piracy outspeeds everything, I'm able to Tickle Smuggler, giving him even more boost in attack and a boost in defense. Smuggler is able to one-hit KO the Herdier, and the damaged Piracy is able to bait and Ferret, proceeds to kill with Thunderbolt and Retaliate. Stantler gets to low HP from the boosted Scald, and Ferret goes down in one hit. Piracy tickles Smuggler again, making him +5, and Cut one-shots Watchog. Smuggler, although +5, cannot take down Bouffalant because of Sap Sipper. I make the call to double in with Tackle and Scald. I get the Scald burn, but it wasn't enough. Smuggler is killed by Lenora's own double up. Smuggler is my first death. But I can win this fight. I switch in my Crocodile, Assault, who has the ability Sheer Force, which is boosting Rock Smash damage, and I switch out Piracy for DUI. DUI shrugs off the double up, and Assault KOs Stantler. It's just Bibarel and Bouffalant left. Bouffalant is able to land a critical hit Retaliate, almost killing Assault, then I send my own crit Rock Smash into Bibarel, almost taking it out. DUI is able to clean up Bibarel, and all that's left is Bouffalant. I switch Assault with Arson, and Bouffalant uses Revenge on DUI, killing them. That's my second death. And Bouffalant finally goes down to burn. I did it. I beat her. I got through the storm. Lenora is considered to be one of the hardest gym leaders in the game. Being able to scrape by with only 2 deaths is nothing short of amazing. I lost my starter, who could have been an absolute monster with contrary leaf storms, and Unknown was by far my tankiest Pokemon. Losing both Pokemon sucks, don't get me wrong, but they were able to keep the run alive. I get another encounter inside Pinwheel Forest, a Trico named Robbery, a pretty decent mid-game Pokemon with adaptability grass attacks. I cross the Sky Arrow Bridge and make it to Castelia City, the home of the 3rd gym leader, Berg. The level cap is now level 30. I'm able to evolve Assault into Feraligatr and Vandal into Gabite, giving me a much needed power boost. I also pick up one of the best items in this section, the Eviolite. The Eviolite gives a 50% boost to both defense and special defense as long as the Pokemon isn't fully evolved. Arson the Pignite is a perfect Pokemon for the Eviolite thanks to its monstrous HP stat and decent bulk. Before Berg, I get 2 more encounters. I catch a Trapinch named Murder on Route 4, and I get the Plume Fossil to revive Fraud the Urchin. Fraud is one of the best Pokemon mid to late game thanks to his stab combination of rock and flying, as well as a crazy attack and speed stat. I just need to make it past this gym to fully use him. Berg is no Lenora, but he has his own problems we need to solve. His 2 leads, Masquerain and Vespiquen, threaten to shut down my team early with Scald, Sunspore, Toxic, and Intimidate. Yanmega can spiral out of control very quickly due to speed boost, and Air Slash constantly threatening flinches. Because of Air Slash, I can never let Scolipede be out next to Yanmega because of Rock Slide. Rock Slide is constantly threatening flinches, and Scolipede just generally outspeeds my entire team. And finally, Levani, who can use Stab Leaf Blade and X-Scissor to do huge damage. I find the best way to deal with Berg is to bait in different Pokemon, all keeping Vespiquen alive and healthy so it never U-turns out. I lead Arson and Larceny to both Intimidate and bait the Scald kill on Arson so I can get a safer switch. I bring in Piracy, but something goes wrong. Masquerain uses Silverwind. If Masquerain gets a 10% Omni boost, I lose. I dodge the Omni boost and I set up Work Up with Larceny to reset my attack stat. Vespiquen gets a Toxic off on Piracy, putting them on a timer. A Flying Gem Acrobatics is able to one-hit KO Masquerain, and by using the gem, Piracy is now the fastest Pokemon in the fight because of Unburden. Larceny does less damage with Retaliate than expected, and Vespiquen misses the Toxic. Levani is the only Pokemon that sees a kill on Piracy, forcing it to come out. I switch Larceny to Arson, who can shrug off most hits. Piracy scores another one-hit KO with Acrobatics as Levani heals with Heal Order. Scolipede comes in to replace Levani, and I double into Scolipede with Sucker Punch and Acrobatics to dodge the flinch, but I just barely miss the KO. At this point, Piracy is too low to keep fighting, and I have to switch him into Vandal. Vandal takes a Rock Climb on the switch, but he can keep going. Arson is able to pick off Scolipede with Flame Charge, but then it happened. Vespiquen used Acrobatics and landed a crit on Arson, leaving him at just 13 HP. I never accounted for this. I never thought about playing around the crit. Out comes Heracross, and I know Arson can't outspeed, and Vandal can't one-hit KO the Heracross, but I need the momentum. With a heavy heart, I sacrifice Arson. I'm sorry, Arson. Vandal rips a Gem Boosted Dragon Claw into Heracross, doing over half, and Vespiquen lands a Toxic. Fraud comes in and kills Vespiquen with a Gem Boosted Acrobatics, and Vandal finishes the Heracross with another Dragon Claw. Yanmega is the only Pokemon left, and Fraud is able to pick up the kill with a single Acrobatics. I beat Berg with only 1 death. Beating Berg rewards you with the best TM in the game, U-Turn. U-Turn is what is known as a pivot move, and pivot moves are some of the best in the game. These moves either let you get free switches in with slow pivots, fast pivots into immuno-resisted hits, or the best use of it, manipulating what Pokemon will be sent out by KOing with a pivot move. The Bianca fight isn't hard at all, and the Charon fight is just annoying because it's a rotation battle. Outside of the Desert Resort, I catch Squatter the Dwebble, and inside the resort, I catch Shoplift the Skarmory, an amazing Pokemon with both its typing and bulk. It's just a shame it doesn't have Sturdy. In Relic Castle, I catch Embezzle the Sandile, who is an Elite 4 team contender. I keep going and I make it to Nimbasa City. The level cap for Elisa is level 38, allowing me to evolve my Trico into a Sceptile. This Mega Drain, you shouldn't have anything for me. Oh no, you have Ice Punch. Why must you do this to me, game? Why? I guess not. That actually really sucks. Like, a lot. Sceptile would have been able to resist Elisa's electric types and would be able to bait the fire, bug, and flying moves she has. But honestly, I should have paid more attention. For the gym, I have another fight with N. This time, he has a sand team. It's not exactly a good sand team, but I have to find a way to deal with the sand. And the answer is treason. Slowpoke makes for an amazing range setter, for one reason only: its speed. Because Slowpoke is so slow, its ability Drizzle always activates last, allowing it to win the weather war. From there, N is easily dealt with. I get a few more encounters on Route 5, 16, and in Lost Learn 4s, none of which are that good. Rufflet is only ever used for flying across the region, Screwbee is never used, and the same can be said for Whimsicott, who isn't that good because dynamic speed isn't a thing yet. Now, let's deal with Elisa. Elisa always leads Emolga, an electric and flying type Pokemon. I can abuse this. I do not recommend the strategy that I came up with. This strategy was quite literally, fuck it, we ball. And everything came down to the first turn. Does Emolga U-turn or acrobatics? And thank God she U-turned. Elisa U-turns, allowing me to pick up crazy momentum. Squatter is one of the few Pokemon to be able to use a single move, Shell Smash. Shell Smash drops both defenses by one stage, but in exchange, your attack stats and speed are doubled. Because of this, anything that comes in on Squatter sees a 1 or 2 hit KO, while I am able to 1 hit KO them. The Ampharos that comes in from the U-turn is unable to outspeed Squatter and drops to a gem boosted dig, but not before paralyzing Squatter with static. Raichu comes out and Volt switches into Galvantula, doing huge damage. Squatter is able to break through paralysis and hits Galvantula with a dig, but misses the KO. But it's right here when my luck runs out and I get full paired on the following turn and Galvantula's healed to full. Squatter, thank you. You gave us the momentum we needed. Killing Squatter with Volt Switch brought in her Manectric and I bring in Vandal. Manectric's best move is Attract here, because Flamethrower does terrible damage and none of its electric type moves can actually hit. Manectric attracts Vandal and now it's a 50% chance I can't move. I have to take it. Vandal's able to power through and is able to one-hit KO Manectric. Out comes Raichu. It's too risky to keep Vandal out with Attract active, so I bring in Murder who can take at least one Focus Blast. But Raichu misses. Murder can still take one Focus Blast. Murder is able to tank the Focus Blast and digs the next turn. He is able to score one-hit KO on Raichu, but not before getting paralyzed by Static. Galvantula comes back out and can only kill with Signal Beam. The only way to win is to sacrifice Murder. Murder, I couldn't have done it without you. Larceny is able to come in and I need to get lucky one more time. Galvantula rips the Thunder. It doesn't crit and it doesn't paralyze. Larceny is able to land a Stab Revenge boosted Retaliate into Galvantula, one-hit KOing it. I retaliate again against the Emolga, doing huge damage. I switch to Embezzle on a gamble as Wild Charge is completely absorbed. Embezzle is now baiting U-turn and I switch to Vandal who has the ability Rough Skin. Substrika has no way to deal with Vandal and eventually goes down to the combination of Rough Skin and Dig. Emolga is never able to KO unless it rolls a crit, and Vandal lands a Dragon Claw to seal the deal. The 4th gym badge is mine. Every Nuzlocke has a few Pokemon that are considered the stars of the run. Piracy, Fraud, and Vandal are all contenders for this, but I'll explain each one later. Beating Elisa gives me another great move, Volt Switch, the electric type version of U-turn. Any Pokemon that can learn U-turn or Volt Switch will always learn these moves because they're so good. Pivot moves are just amazing. Elisa lowers the drawbridge and opens up way more encounters. On the bridge, I catch Trespass the Hoppip, I catch Littering the Horsey in Driftvale City, and in Cold Storage, I catch Sabotage the Mienshao. Not a single one of these encounters are bad either, they all have some sort of use. Hoppip and later Jumpluff is a fast U-turner with great grass stab options and access to Rage Powder. Horsey allows me to get a different encounter way later in the game because I caught it here, and Mienshao is just an amazing Pokemon. Fast and powerful U-turns pair perfectly with its ability Regenerator, and its access to both Drain Punch and High Jump Kick allows it to take crazy one-hit KOs as well as cleanup kills. After dealing with Team Plasma in the Cold Storage and getting through Gym Trainers, it's time to face Clay. All of Clay's Pokemon pose huge threats to my team, but there are 3 that stand out. The first one is Hippowdon. Hippowdon is a slow and bulky sand setter that enables the rest of Clay's team. And remember, slow weather setters always win the weather wars. Not only does Hippowdon set up slow sandstorm, but he also has stealth rocks, making every switch more risky. His second standout is his Exadrill. Exadrill has a monstrous 135 attack stat. Pair this with its ability Sand Rush, is able to outrun and one-hit KO everything. And if Exadrill gets a Swords Dance up in the sand, everything is dead. His third one isn't a powerhouse, but it has the ability to wall and stop my team's momentum. Seismitoad. Seismitoad is an all-round decent Pokemon. Alright bulk, good attack stats, and an alright speed stat. But the real problem comes in Seismitoad's ability, Water Absorb. Water Absorb is able to shut down the sweep I was going for with Piracy. But yet again, I got lucky. All the way back at the start, I got the TM for Hidden Power. Hidden Power is a move almost every Pokemon can learn. Hidden Power is a move that changes base power and typing based off of your Pokemon's IVs. Simipour's Hidden Power ended up being Grass type, giving me the answer I needed for Clay. I have the answer for Seismitoad, but I still have an issue with the weather. Hippowdon is a slow weather setter. Slow weather setters always win the weather war. Treason, now Slowbro, is very slow, but is able to just barely outspeed Hippowdon, allowing Clay to have the sand. While the level cap is level 44, I don't have to level Slowbro to 44. Treason only ever outspeeds at a level higher than 39. By purposely underleveling, Treason underspeeds Hippowdon and can win the weather war. Securing that sandstorm is never set up. Now let's actually take on Clay. Clay leads Hippowdon and I lead Treason, so I can win the weather war and set up the rain. Before going down, Hippowdon sets up Stealth Rocks, and now Crocodile comes in and sees a kill with Crunch. I switch to Assault, who takes a Torment. I have no clue why I tormented here. The Crocodile could have taken a KO with Crunch. Assault baits an Earthquake, and I switch in Trespass to Jumpluff, who gets in for free, only taking some Stealth Rocks damage. Trespass deals huge damage with a gem boosted Giga Drain, almost dropping the Crocodile, and Trespass takes one Crunch before picking up the KO with U-Turn. Piracy is able to come in and baits in Steelix. I Scald thinking that I would pick up the KO, but I fumbled. I knew Steelix had 30, but I didn't account for the Pasho Berry it held. Steelix is able to live and gets a Coil off. What? I guess even Clay realizes this mistake and switches to Seismitoad. Piracy is always able to take one Earth Power. Simipour uses Hidden Power, lives the Earth Power, and finishes off the Seismitoad with the second Hidden Power. Steelix comes back in, but Piracy scalds, picking up yet another KO. Marowak comes in, but he can't do anything in front of a rain boosted Scald. Piracy is able to pick up another KO. Exadrill is the last Pokemon, but I still decide to play it safe. Piracy is baiting an Earthquake, and I switch to my Archeops, Fraud. Fraud is able to switch in safely, and outspeeds on the following turn, landing a gem boosted dig for the one-hit KO. Holy shit, that's the 5th gym. Deathless. After a gruesome fight like Elisa, a nice Deathless fight against Clay is amazing. We're also going to ignore the fact that I had TM for Grasslant in my bag. Whoops. And with the level cap moved to 56, all 3 of my star Pokemon are finally able to come online. Let's start with Piracy. Piracy has proved themselves time and time again. A fast water type with early access to Scald and various tech moves and coverage moves like Acrobatics and Tickle have been really useful, but Piracy can go even further. At level 49, Piracy is able to learn the single most powerful water type move, Water Spout. Water Spout is a base 150 special water move that scales with the total HP you have left. This move is typically reserved for slower Pokemon that can't make full use of it, or legendary Pokemon like Kyogre. Simipour, on the other hand, is by far the fastest user of Water Spout at a base 101 speed, an amazing speed stat in Gen 5, making this especially deadly. After accounting for Stab and Water Gem Boost, Water Spout is a 337 power water move. This is already stronger than Self-Destruct at 250 power. Adding on the rain, you now have a 506 base power move. Nothing is living that. Archeops is an amazing Pokemon if you know how to play them right. Fraud's deadly stab combo in Flying and Rock allows it to pick up insane KOs, especially since it can learn Rock Slide now. Defeatist may be one of the worst abilities, but Fraud has it for a reason. Fraud's amazing stats of 140 attack and 112 speed make this thing already one of the fastest and strongest Pokemon in the game. As long as I can keep this thing above half HP, Fraud can rip through just about anything with acrobatics and rock slide. And now I can finally use him. I can finally evolve Vandal into Garchomp. Now, I don't need to explain why Garchomp is so good, but I will anyways. First of all, those stats. Damn! 130 attack, 102 speed, and overall good bulk. Who made this thing? Dragon Ground is just an amazing typing to have. Dragon hits almost everything for at least neutral damage, and fairy types just don't exist. The one thing that can actually stop Garchomp is a steel type. But guess what? Ground is able to hit Dragon's only check for super effective damage. To top it all off, Drayano thought it would be a good idea to give this thing extreme speed, the strongest priority move in the game. Garchomp is easily one of the best Pokemon in Blaze Black. Now there is another fight with Bianca before Route 6. Sure, this fight isn't hard at all, but you know, it's still a rival fight. My team has very few ways to deal with flying types. Other than Fraud, nothing can really hit flying for huge damage. There are a few encounters that can help me. On Route 6, I run into a Chinchou. Doesn't mean I catch it. I killed it. Never living that one down. I get to Chargestone Cave, and this is home to some of the best possible encounters in the game, but I can only get one. Some of these are electric types like Voltorb, Joltik, and Manectric, or I can get the best steel type in the game, Ferroseed. Ferroseed and Ferrothorn are bulky steel types with amazing stall and pivot potential. A Ferrothorn would easily have a spot on the team for the Elite Four and Champion. I get a Clink. At least it can use Volt Switch. There's one more thing I need to do in Chargestone Cave. Face N. All other N fights have been trivial. None of them have been hard fights or fights I need to plan for. This fight is different. N's team consists entirely of Rotom. Rotom is a Pokemon with 6 different forms. Plasma, Heat, Wash, Frost, Fan, and Mow. Rotom is known for its versatility, as not only a hit taker, but also as a damage dealer and support mon. Adding on to this, every form of Rotom has a different type, making it impossible for just one Pokemon to sweep through. Levitate, which is on every Rotom, makes it even harder. Rotom P is an electric ghost type and the fastest Rotom. Rotom P is able to threaten burns with Will-O-Wisp and stall behind a substitute. Rotom Heat, the electric fire type, can also threaten burns with Lava Plume, paralysis of Thunder Wave, and just huge damage with Thunderbolt. Rotom Frost is easily the weakest link of the Rotoms. Sure, Glaciate is strong, but Electric Ice is just a terrible defensive typing. Rotom Mow has a stupidly powerful burst option in Leaf Storm, which is able to do huge damage into anything that doesn't resist grass. The electric water type, Rotom Wash, has insane utility and firepower. Wash is able to set up the rain to not only boost Scald, but also gives Thunder 100% accuracy. It doesn't end there though. Rotom Wash is the perfect partner and sets up the demon, Rotom Fan. While normally considered the worst form, Rotom Fan is the only Rotom without Levitate. It instead has Speed Boost now, one of the best abilities in the game. Rotom Fan pairs perfectly with Rotom Wash because of its 2 insanely powerful moves, Thunder and Hurricane, both of which can't miss in the rain. If this thing is given a single turn to Speed Boost, I can wipe here. Let's run it. I lead Vandal into the first Rotom, who's able to drop him in 2 crunches. Vandal being the lead here is very important. He always baits in Rotom Frost next. Using the new and buffed Strength, a base 85 Rock type move, and a Rock Gem to boost the damage, Vandal's able to secure the one-hit KO on Rotom Frost. Nothing sees killing rolls on Vandal, and N sends in his next best answer, Rotom Mow. Rotom Mow sees high damage with Leaf Storm and will always Leaf Storm. Nothing else is able to take a stab Leaf Storm, and Vandal must stay in. Vandal and Rotom Mow trade blows, leaving both at low HP. I switch to Sabotage on a weakened Energy Ball, and pick up the KO with a U-turn. It's time to manipulate. I send out Larceny, who is never one-shot by anything. By sending out Larceny, N sees the only way to effectively KO her is by setting up the rain. Rotom Wash comes out. Rotom Wash sets up the rain, and Larceny goes for Retaliate, doing really good damage. Rotom goes for a Thunder on the next turn, dropping Larceny below half. I Retaliate again, but I barely miss the KO. With the rain up, nothing is able to safely switch in. Vandal is too low on HP, Assault and Piracy die to Thunder, and Fraud and Sabotage just have terrible defenses. I have to sack Larceny. Larceny, you've been with us from the start. You are our first encounter. You've been to every gym fight. You clutched up against Elisa. You are always a wall to rely on. Thank you, Larceny. Fly high. Sabotage avenges Larceny with U-turn, killing this menace of a machine. Killing with U-turn lets me manipulate and switch again. By bringing in Piracy, the only Pokemon that sees a kill is Rotom Fan with Thunder. If I don't one-shot this Rotom right here, there's a very high possibility I wipe or lose tons of Pokemon. But that's why Piracy is my Starman. Stab, Water Gem, Rain Boosted Water Spout absolutely eviscerates the fan. With only Rotom Heat left, N can't do anything, and Piracy picks up yet another Water Spout kill. N has been defeated for now. There's a few things to do before facing Skyla. I can get 2 new encounters on Route 7 and Celestial Tower, loitering the Gliscor and Elgin. This is the first and last time Elgin will be in the script. Mistralton City also gives access to the 2 best NPCs, the Move Deleter and Move Reminder. I'm finally able to get rid of my bad HM moves like Cut, and later I can reteach old moves that I might have missed. Now let's talk about Skyla. Skyla is probably the easiest gym leader if you know how to deal with her. Skyla's fight is a triple battle. Triple battles are terrible. I hate them. They're stupid. Skyla's able to take full advantage of triple battles with her flying types. While in a normal double battle, you can hit the Pokemon in front of you and next to you. In triple battles, you can only hit the Pokemon in front of you or next to you, and not the Pokemon on the opposite side or on the edge. Flying type moves bypass this rule and are able to hit all the way across the field. Skyla's team is filled with amazing flying type Pokemon. Braviary has huge attack and HP stats, letting it take hits and hitting back harder. Skarmory has great typing and even better bulk. Skarmory is also able to shrug off most hits and stay around for a long time thanks to Roost and Sturdy. Mandibuzz is just annoying. Tailwind is able to double the speed stat of her Pokemon, Torment can force me to make non-optimal moves, and the Resto Chesto setup can be annoying. Her Archeops is very similar to mine. Flying Gem Acrobatics threatens one-hit KOs on almost everything. Earthquake can do heavy damage to a lot of my Pokemon, Stone Edge will just kill something if it lands, and Dragon Claw will likely one-hit KO my Garchomp. Gliscor is a bulky monster with Poison Heal and can use Stab, Earthquakes, and Acrobatics to do huge damage. Gliscor also has Fling to get rid of its Toxic Orb, and also has Thunder Fang to deal with any flying types or water types. Swan is just a terrible Pokemon, not even Drayano could save them. Sure, they have Tailwind, but just look at these stats. Sure, Piracy's isn't that much better, but at least he gets Water Spout. You wanna know how easy this fight was? Most gym fights are around 2 or 3 pages long in the script. This fight was just over 1 page. Fucking what? I lead Piracy, Corruption, and Fraud into Braviary, Skarmory, and Mandibuzz. Piracy rips a Gem-boosted Water Spout into Braviary and Skarmory, doing huge damage. Fraud uses a Gem-boosted Rock Slide, finishing off Skarmory and dropping Mandibuzz in the red. Corruption is able to pick off Mandibuzz with Volt Switch, and then Braviary throws by going for Bulk Up. Keep in mind, all this happened in 1 turn. Assault is able to come in on Corruption's Volt Switch, and Skyla sends in Swan and Gliscor. Piracy Water Spouts again, KOing Braviary this time, and Swan is able to set up a Tailwind, which is really scary. Fraud Rock Slides, missing Gliscor, but taking the KO on the Swanna. Assault is able to Ice Fang Gliscor, but just barely misses the KO. Skyla's Archeops comes in and can potentially KO a Pokemon thanks to Tailwind. Predicting an Earthquake, I switch Assault into Shoplift to avoid a KO. But because of the Unburden boost, Piracy is able to outspeed and one-hit KO the Archeops even in Tailwind. With just Gliscor left, Skyla can't do anything, and I have won badge number 6. With Skyla defeated, I can finally move on, immediately into a rival fight, where absolutely nothing of note happens. Even with Fraud almost dying, I'm able to steer and win without any deaths. Beating Charon gives me Surf and access to Twist Mountain. I can now get 7 new Pokemon. On Route 17, I catch Corsola. This is the first and last time Corsola will be mentioned. I catch Porygon in the P2 laboratory. Porygon isn't terrible, but I could have gotten better. On Route 18, I actually get something good, Mutiny the Munchlax. Since the next gym is an Ice type, a special wall of Thick Fat is actually amazing. It also came with leftovers. We'll be back for those. I'm also able to pick up an egg before leaving, but I don't leave unscathed. Say hi to Hiker Jeremiah. His team is nothing special. He has a Golem, Ursaring, and Slacking. His Golem self-destructs on Vandal, doing a little less than half. Ursaring uses Rest for some reason, and I switch to Corruption. Corruption is able to take out Ursaring, and I set up 2 Shift Gears. In comes Slacking. I Wild Charge his Slacking, but he lives. Uh-oh. No! Corruption. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, no, that's it. Is that my one steel type? No, I still have Scarm. Damn. Okay. Don't miss. Thank you. Was not expecting to counter. My god, that didn't even kill. Killed my fucking steel type. Motherfucker. Sure, I might have ripped on Corruption for being a bad encounter, but hey, he had his moment in Skyla's gym. Fuck you, Jeremiah. I hatched the egg and get Road Rage Lord Vesta. Volcarona is an absolutely amazing Pokemon. It has a high special attack stat and a decent speed stat. And one of its abilities got changed to Levitate, which makes it an excellent partner for Vandal, but more on that much later. On Route 6, I surf over to Entralink Cave, which actually has 2 locations. Entralink Cave and the Guidance Chamber have insane encounters. Both areas have pseudo-legendaries as encounters. I catch Laundry the Bagon in Entralink Cave, and I get Impersonate the Metang in the Guidance Chamber. Salamence hits insanely hard and can spiral out of control of Moxie if given the chance. Metagross, on the other hand, is a wall. Steel and Psychic has a myriad of resistances. Pairing this with Metagross's base 130 defense and 90 special defense, Impersonate is not dying anytime soon. And for the last of my 7 encounters, in Twist Mountain, I catch Violence the Excadrill. Okay, you're gonna have to cut me some slack on these names here. I'm running out of crimes to name my Pokemon after. At least crimes that won't get me in trouble with YouTube. Don't worry, I only have like 5-ish encounters left. I make it to Isra City, and the gym's level cap is 63. Bryson's team is completely built around the weather hail. But unlike Clay, Bryson's team takes full advantage of it by having Blizzard on 5 out of 6 Pokemon. Blizzard is a really powerful ice move that becomes unavoidable in the hail. I think you know where this is going. Treason is able to shut down the hail because he grossly underspeeds Abomasnow. Sabotage is also amazing here, as we can switch in and out with U-turn or take quick kills with high jump kick. 2 of the new encounters are actually really good here. Impersonate the Metagross resists ice and is able to deal super effective damage back. Mutiny Snorlax is also amazing here because he's a special wall and has the ability Thick Fat, giving it an ice resistance. He's also immune to the Shadow Balls that Frostlass likes to spam. I also brought Fraud and Piracy just in case things go wrong. I lead Treason and Sabotage into his leads Abomasnow and Glaceon. Bryson's Glaceon is holding a Choice Scarf, making it the fastest Pokemon in the fight right now. I switch out Treason knowing he's about to take a double up and bring in Mutiny. Mutiny takes an Earth Power, while Sabotage is able to one-hit KO Abomasnow with a Drain Punch. Frostlass comes in and Thunderbolts Mutiny, doing not so much damage. Glaceon Earth Power Sabotage, but we dodge the crit and rip a gem boosted U-turn into Frostlass. Piracy comes in to replace Sabotage, and Mutiny heavy slams Glaceon, dropping them to about 25%. Piracy is able to outspeed both Frostlass and Scarf Glaceon, knocking them both out with a Water Spout. But Bryson still has his heavy hitters, Beartick and Vanillux. Vanillux has a base 145 special attack, just 5 less than Reshiram, and can take at least 1 hit with its decent bulk. Beartick was buffed to the extreme. Beartick already had an impressive base 110 attack stat, but by upping it to 130 and increasing its bulk, adding on a fighting type, and giving it sheer force, this thing is an absolute monster. Vanillux sees a kill with Energy Ball on Piracy, and Beartick sees a close combat kill on Mutiny. I make the call to swap Piracy into Impersonate to take the Energy Ball, and I protect with Mutiny on the close combat. The position I'm in is just really, really bad. I'm 90% sure Impersonate is able to outspeed the Beartick and one-hit KO. Mutiny is threatened by close combat, but I can't switch because Vanillux threatens whatever I switch in with an Energy Ball. I have to risk Mutiny getting KO'd here. Vanillux Energy Balls into Impersonate, doing pretty bad damage. I made the wrong call. Beartick is able to outspeed and he Rock Slides. I honestly have no clue why this happened, so let me try to explain. Take this all with a grain of salt. I have very little understanding of how Pokemon AI works. So let's start with the previous turn. Last turn, Metagross switched in and took an Energy Ball directed at Simipour, which would have scored a KO. That same turn, Snorlax used Protect to live against close combat. Vanillux can only use Energy Ball because it is both its most accurate and highest damaging move. Beartick always sees killing rolls of close combat and should always close combat because Rock Slide gets weakened by being a spread move. Icicle Crash is weakened by Thick Fat, and Waterfall, despite being boosted by the rain, can't KO. There's only a few explanations as to why Beartic actually rock slided. A. Since Beartic knows that Snorlax has Protect, it can technically Protect again, albeit very risky. This can make Beartic wait a turn, but that also makes no sense since Metagross resists Rock Slide, and he could have just close combat the Metagross. B. Beartic and Metagross had a speed tie, or Metagross underspeed, causing Beartic to go for a move that could flinch. Rock Slide having the highest possible chance to flinch at 30%, but even this doesn't make sense because Sheer Force removed the flinch chance. Or C. Beartic went for a random move, but there was never a reason to use a random move. Snorlax is full HP with only close combat killing it. A Pokemon only ever uses a random move if it's a wild Pokemon, all moves have overlapping roles, or every move can kill that turn. Close combat is the only move that could have killed. In conclusion, Bryson's a dumbass. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Because of the Rock Slide, Impersonate is able to OHKO Beartic with a Meteor Mash, and Mutiny hits Vanillux with a Body Slam. Cryogonal comes in and sets up Reflect, I Protect with Impersonate, and Heavy Slam Vanillux. For safety, I swap in Treason, and at this point, Cryogonal can't do anything else. I won the 7th badge, Deathless. After beating Dumbshit Bryson, there's a lot of story. Team Plasma opens up Dragon Spiral Tower, I catch a guaranteed Dratini named Blackmail, and gets a Zekrom. I wonder who got the better encounter here. And then I have to go to Relic Castle, battle through tons of Plasma Grunts, only to leave because the Lightstone isn't here. Thanks, Lenora. I never want to see you again. With the Lightstone in hand, I set off for the 8th gym, but it's not long before I get stopped. The Route 8 Bianca fight. Bianca so far has been a pushover. Last time I actually went into some detail about her fight was all the way at the start, on Route 2. This fight is completely different. This fight with Bianca is a triple battle. Like I said at Skyla, I absolutely despise triple battles. But this fight is not easy like Skyla was, because she actually has variety in her Pokemon. I lead Fraud, Assault, and Vandal into her Persian, Musharna, and Mienshao. Persian uses Fake Out on Assault, shutting him down for a turn. Vandal's able to one-hit KO Musharna with a critical hit Crunch. Fraud rips the gem-boosted Acrobatics into Mienshao, taking the one-hit. Simisear and Samurott come in now. Simisear outspeeds everything and sets up a workup. Vandal Dragon Claw Samurott doing a good amount of chip damage, and Persian sets up Nasty Plot. That was my first misplay. I never should have let Persian set up. Fraud U-turns Samurott and brings in Piracy. Assault is able to one-hit KO his Simisear with Waterfall. Samurott skulls Piracy but misses the burn. Lilligant comes in and sees a kill on Piracy with Petal Dance, and I switch to Road Rage, who quad resists it. Vandal Dragon Claws Persian, but just barely misses the KO. Persian sets up another Nasty Plot. It is now +4 special attack. I make another misplay. I crunch Samurott. Samurott is a water fighting type. I use the worst possible move on it. To add salt to the wound, Scald burns Vandal. Vandal is now dead weight with his burn, and I swap to Sabotage. Bianca full restores Persian, Lilligant is locked into Petal Dance, and Road Rage is able to Thunderbolt Samurott, picking up the KO. Assault's Ice Fang crits and picks up the KO on Lilligant. All that's left is this stupid cat, but this cat isn't going down alone. Persian moves first. A +4, stab, technician boosted, swift is nothing to scoff at. Sabotage is dead. Every fight Sabotage has been in, she was amazing in. She gave me momentum in the Bryson fight. She was able to sweep through all of Relic Castle and Dragon Spiral Tower, and she was the reason I didn't wipe to end in Charge Stone Cave. I'm sorry, Sabotage. May you rest in peace. Assault just barely holds on with 9 HP left and is able to pick up the KO with a Waterfall. That was the last Bianca fight. I passed through Two Blind Bridge and Route 9, and I finally made it to Opelucid City, the home of the last gym leader. Gets his yaps about N having Zekrom or something. I've played this game too many times. I haven't been really paying attention, because I have to start prepping for Drayden. Every Pokemon on his team is either Setup Sweeper or is able to naturally threaten one-hits. Rotation battles perfectly fit with his team too. Since everything can one-hit KO, everything is a perfect counter. Rotation battles add RNG to every turn, making the fight much harder on me. The team and plan I bring to the fight is as straightforward as possible. Vandal, Piracy, and Laundering all threaten super effective damage. Vandal can outspeed and one-shot most Pokemon while holding the Expert Belt. Piracy is able to outspeed and get at least 1 KO with a gem-boosted Ice Beam. And Laundering is not only able to set up with Dragon Dance, but is able to take KOs with Outrage and spiral out of control with Moxie. Because of the way rotation battles work, I never want to switch out. These 3 Pokemon have a way to deal with all 6 of Drayden's Pokemon. Druddigon is only a problem if he's left around for multiple turns because of Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet. Drayden's Charizard uses Slackberry Belly Drum set. If this thing is dropped too low, it will outspeed and kill everything with either Earthquake or Fire Punch. Like Charizard, Flygon is a setup sweeper. He uses Quiver Dance to boost Earth Power, Dragon Pulse, and Fire Blast. All of these are relatively tame to his final 3. Salamence has the potential to one-shot all my Pokemon thanks to Life Orb boosting his moves. Drayden's Haxorus is another problem. 147 attack is absolutely insane. Nothing will live a hit. Even a resisted hit will do an insane amount of damage. If I can't kill Haxorus, my entire team will fall. But the worst of them all is his Kingdra. Kingdra doesn't have amazing stats, but it has Frost Breath. Frost Breath is a 60 base power ice move. That's pretty weak. Not until you consider that it will always score a critical hit. Frost Breath becomes a 120 power ice move. Okay, it's getting a little stronger. But Kingdra also has the ability Sniper, boosting critical damage from ×2 to ×3, making Frost Breath a 180 power ice move. This can kill basically anything on my team, especially since Vandal and Laundering are 4 times weak to ice. Oh boy. I lead Laundering, Piracy, and Vandal. I rotate in Vandal to try picking up a KO of Dragon Claw, but Charizard rotates in and Earthquakes. Everything is dead to a Dragon Claw, forcing him to make a random move. Flygon rotates in and instantly drops to the Dragon Claw. Kingdra comes in to replace Flygon because it sees kills on Vandal and Laundering. To guarantee I take out Kingdra in 1 hit, I have to rotate to Laundering and Outrage. Salamence has a higher attack stat than Garchomp and deals more damage with the Dragon Fang boosted Outrage than an Expert Belt boosted Dragon Claw. The only way this can go wrong is if Kingdra outspeeds. Kingdra and Laundering have base speed stats within 5 points, meaning it all comes down to Natures and IVs. He rotates Charizard because rotation battles are all RNG. Laundering is able to KO Charizard and he gets a Moxie boost. The only problem with Outrage is that it can't be spammed. After 2 to 3 turns of Outrage, the user gets confused and every attack with confusion is a risk of getting KO'd myself. Drayden Salamence comes in and is able to KO Laundering with his own Outrage. I want to see the Kingdra go down this turn, or else I'm risking way too much. Kingdra rotates in, and I'm able to outspeed and 1-hit KO with Outrage. I'm able to pick up a second Moxie boost and Outrage is good for its 3rd and final turn. Haxorus rotates to Salamence and is unable to live against a +2 Outrage. With 3 attack boosts and a Confusion, I can no longer use Laundering without risking him. The rest of this fight is up to Vandal. I am not guaranteed the 1-hit KO against Haxorus. A stab super effective Expert Belt Dragon Claw has an 80% chance to 1-hit KO. If I hit that 20% chance, I lose my best answer to end Zekrom. But 20% is a hell of a lot lower than the 50% confusion chance. Garchomp, you are our knight. This might be a range. This might be a stretch. But I think Vandal actually picks up the KO with Expert Belt. If not, we lose our answer to Zekrom. So we're gonna swap in Vandal and Dragon Claw. We outspeed. Yes! 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 With only Druddigon left, Drayden can't do anything, and I've won. I got the 8th gym badge. I've beaten all 8 gyms. Route 10, Victory Road, and the Pokemon League are the last areas of the game. These areas are home to some of the hardest and most challenging fights in the game. Our first challenge is Cherin. Cherin's team is absolutely stacked. Staraptor hits stupidly hard with Reckless, Brave Bird, and Double Edge, and is able to pivot in and out with U-turn. Gigalith threatens explosion kills, and is able to set up Stealth Rocks, making switch-ins much harder. Alakazam hits hard, hits fast, and has an answer to deal with almost every type. Even neutral hits are scary from this thing. Gyarados is able to spiral out of control very fast. 1 Dragon Dance and it outspeeds and 1-hits everything. Pair this with Moxie, this thing can snowball out of control if not taken care of quickly. Simisage has Flying Gem Acrobatics, which is very scary, and has Power Whip to just do insane damage. And then finally, his Emboar. his Emboar is a huge problem. It has Adaptability Flare Blitz and Earthquake, as well as Wild Charge to cover its water weakness. Also, we can't give it a free turn because it can bulk up on that turn. I lead with Treason into Staraptor to bait U-turn. His Staraptor hits everything hard, so I want to be able to go with him later. I bring in Vandal to take the U-turn and deal a little chip with Rough Skin. Gigalith comes in and is threatening Explosion. Because Gigalith has 30, I can't kill it in one hit. Not only that, I can't use Dig against it because it's slower and has Earthquake, which doubles in power against a Dig user. I decide to Dragon Claw, dropping Gigalith to around 30%. Gigalith is able to set up Stealth Rocks before going down the next turn. Staraptor comes back in and is threatening huge damage with Brave Bird. Switching out Vandal for another Pokemon will actually just put me in a worse position because I want to keep Vandal in, and my best answer right now is Impersonate. Impersonate can 1v1 Staraptor, but he always has U-turn and can go into Emboar, and I need Impersonate for other Pokemon. Vandal has to stay in. Let's take the KO on Gigalith. Staraptor comes back in, probably gonna be a Brave Bird, but we outspeed and can might actually take the KO with Strength, right? No, we don't. So it's gonna be Brave Bird. It's a Reckless Brave Bird. Oh my god! 4 HP in a dream! Okay! Vandal! You hold! Alakazam and sees a kill for random move. Vandal is too important and I wasn't expecting Staraptor to do this much damage. It's time to steer. I bring in Impersonate on a Shadow Ball doing just over 30%. I Protect on the next turn to scout the move Alakazam might use. It ends up being Focus Blast. Using one of the hard skills I found, I was able to teach Impersonate Bullet Punch, allowing me to outspeed and hit Alakazam for huge damage as he whiffs the next Focus Blast. I'm able to take out Alakazam with one more Bullet Punch and Emboar comes in. Emboar is able to do insane damage with Adaptability Earthquakes and Flare Blitz. However, he will never Flare Blitz because of the rain, so he'll always Earthquake here. I make the call to swap in Fraud on the Earthquake, doing no damage, only taking chip from Stealth Rocks. Fraud has to kill Emboar or he dies. Wild Charge, nothing wants to take Wild Charge. Although, no, Vandal's dead on entry. Okay. We're just gonna send it. We ball. Fraud? Okay, that's Rock Gem proc. Rock Slide hits. It's neutral. We can still flinch. Wild Charge. I'm so sorry, Fraud. I'm so sorry. It had to end like this. I'm so sorry. Fraud, why? Parsi is able to revenge kill with Scald and bring in Simisage, who sees a kill with Power Whip. I switch to Laundering, who quad resists the Power Whip, and I set up a Dragon Dance as he goes for workup. Laundering one-hit KOs with an Outrage and gets a Moxie boost. Gyarados comes in on the second Outrage and also gets one-hit KO'd. I beat Charon, but I sure don't feel like I won. Fraud was with me for a while now. He was one of my Starman. He was always the crutch I leaned on when something went wrong. I'm sorry I couldn't bring you to the end, buddy. After the Charon fight, I'm able to pick up Earthquake, finally giving me a good ground move that's not Dig on Vandal. The hard fights aren't over yet. You're probably expecting the next fights to just be the Elite Four. You're wrong though. Every trainer on Victory Road has really good teams. They all specialize in different weathers. Thankfully, only one of the fights is actually required. Ace Trainer Shanta. She uses a rain team. Sure, I sometimes use the rain, but I never have built a team specifically around the rain. Hers is completely rain-based. Her Slowking is able to set up the Rain of Drizzle, which enables the rest of her team. Swift Swimmers like Ludicolo and Kingdraw both benefit from the rain by doubling their speed. Electros benefits from 100% accurate thunders, and her Boom Mom Fortress gets rid of their 4 times weakness to fire. My answer to all this? My own rain setter, Treason. Slowbro is able to learn a move you typically wouldn't want it to learn, Sunny Day. By using Sunny Day, I'm able to shut down the rain and every Pokemon that would normally benefit from it. From there, the fight is relatively easy and I'm able to sweep with Road Rage and Vandal. I run into the Sun Team trainer, but Treason's Drizzle is able to shut it down pretty easily. Just ignore that Treason almost died to a Bug Buzz. Road Rage, Impersonate, and Vandal are able to clean up. After going through the rest of Victory Road and dodging every other fight, I finally made it. I made it to the Pokemon League. This is the furthest I've made it in Blaze Black by a long shot. And this is the final hurdle. I can't just go in without a plan though. I need the perfect team of 6 to take on 4 different fights. This is the team I decide to bring for the Elite Four. My Starman Vandal the Garchomp is the first choice. Insane damage, insane speed, and access to extreme speed and Earthquake makes him an obvious pick. Impersonate, my Metagross, is another obvious pick due to his great defensive profile and attack stat. Road Rage the Volcarona is able to dish out great damage with Heat Wave and Bug Buzz, as well as being able to dodge Vandal's Earthquakes with Levitate. This is why Levitate is so important. Next is a Pokemon that hasn't been used this entire run, Embezzle the Crocodile. Embezzle's Dark typing and coverage Brick Break allows her to hit 3 out of 4 Elite Fours with super effective damage and spiral out of control with Moxie. Trespass to Jumpluff is a weird one for sure, but the ability to redirect and pivot is really good to have. And I have Prankster Memento on this thing just in case I need to use it. And for my final Pokemon, it's Treason the Slowbro. The Drizzle support and walling capabilities of this thing cannot be understated. No going back now. Let's do this. Grimsley is up first, and I lead Embezzle and Trespass into his Light Partner Sharpedo. Light Part Sucker Punches Trespass, doing huge damage, and Sharpedo Aqua Jets Embezzle, doing a good amount as well. Trespass is able to one-hit Sharpedo with a Gem Boosted Energy Ball, and Light Part goes down to a Brick Break, giving Embezzle a Moxie boost. Absol and Bisharp come in, threatening a double up into Embezzle, so I swap in Impersonate and U-turn out with Trespass to bring in Vandal. I predicted wrong and Vandal gets hit with Stone Edge, as Impersonate gets hit with a crit Mega Horn. Both Pokemon see kills on Impersonate, so I protect predicting a double up, and Protect also blocks Vandal's Gem Boosted Earthquake. Bisharp Sucker Punch does a ton of damage to Vandal, before him and Absol both go down to the Earthquake. There's only 2 Pokemon left. Honchkrow and Houndoom come in, both threaten kills of Sucker Punch, and Houndoom can kill Impersonate with a Fire Blast. I switch Impersonate out to Treason, predicting either Sucker Punch or Fire Blast. Vandal Dragon Claws Honchkrow doing a decent bit of chip, and I finally get a prediction right as Houndoom goes for a Fire Blast into Treason. But I didn't account for Honchkrow still being able to attack. Fire Blast came out, okay. Honchkrow didn't, Brave Bird. Garchomp might die.
Oh!
I switch Vandal into Impersonate to take either a Sucker Punch or Brave Bird. Houndoom Sucker Punches Treason, doing an absurd amount of damage, and Honchkrow goes for Brave Bird into Impersonate. No, oh, that's not even fine. Brave Bird, we hold.
Oh! How are you gonna do damage? Meteor Mash?
I have Bullet Punch.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm gonna build.
Oh wait, no, he full restores.
On his Houndoom?
Yeah.
Oh shit, okay.
So he full restores on a Houndoom. Honchkrow doesn't have a priority move other than Sucker Punch, but fuck. He only has priority on Sucker Punch. He's gonna go for Sucker Punch. I honestly just have to send it though.
Yeah, you do.
So Scald into Houndoom because he's full restoring, so it doesn't matter. And Bullet Punch into Honchkrow. Full restore, yep. Bullet Punch, yes!
Oh my god.
And Scald, that's a one-hit KO.
Jesus Christ.
Yes!
Oh my god.
It's a crit!
Crit matters.
Obviously.
Obviously, crit matters.
Elite 4-1, done!
Jesus Christ, I'm like almost half your team, bro.
Deathless, oh my god.
You almost lost like a half of your good Pokemon.
Almost lost all of them, but you know, we ball. Next up is Caitlyn. She uses Side Spam Trick Room Team to flip the turn order and try to overwhelm me with huge special damage. I lead Embezzle and Trespass into her Musharna and Sigilyph. Sigilyph should always see a one-hit KO with Ice Beam or Hurricane on Jumpluff, so I U-turn to bring in Impersonate. Metagross comes in, it's gonna either tank Psychic, Hurricane, or Ice Beam. Most likely Ice Beam. Hurricane?
Hurricane.
Why?
Oh. What?
Why would it do that?
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I live, but
Oh shit!
you gotta be fucking
Oh!
kidding me, right? Confusion? You don't hit yourself,
no,
Embezzle.
no.
Embezzle! It's time to steer. I bring in Vandal, who's able to outspeed and pick up KOs. I double into Sigilyph, Bullet Punch, and Crunch, picking up the KO. Musharna sets up a Reflect, halving my damage. Dragonclaw does piss poor damage to Gothitelle as she drops my special defense, putting Vandal in kill range. Impersonate lands the Meteor Mash, activating Gothitelle's Berry, and Musharna Side Shocks Vandal, leaving him at low HP. Impersonate is able to completely wall both Pokemon, so I swap Vandal to bring in Road Rage. Gothitelle Psychics Impersonate, doing absolutely shit damage. And then Impersonate misses Meteor Mash. To make matters worse, Psyshock does an insane damage to Road Rage. I'm starting to lose control here. Road Rage is able to one-hit KO Musharna with a crit Bug Buzz, Gothitelle lands a Focus Blast, and Impersonate is able to land Meteor Mash, picking up the KO. And now Bronzong and Reuniclus come out. These two have a very strange interaction with each other. Because both underspeed by Pokemon, they both want to use Trick Room. I switch out Impersonate just in case Bronzong uses Earthquake, and I have Road Rage go for Heat Wave. And this strange interaction actually happens. Both Pokemon use Trick Room, effectively throwing away their turn. I Rage Powder with Trespass to keep Road Rage safe, as they go for another Heat Wave, knocking out Bronzong. But Reuniclus is able to set up Trick Room, putting the fight back in Caitlin's favor. I Rage Powder again to draw all attacks Trespass. This is a sacrifice, this is the only way I can win. Bug Buzz is able to KO Reuniclus, leaving just Behem. I bring Treason in, who is able to outspeed Behem thanks to Trick Room, and I switch Road Rage to Vandal to take a potential Thunderbolt. I predicted wrong, who would have guessed? And Behem goes for Energy Ball into Treason, almost killing him. With Reflect wearing out, Vandal's able to pick up the KO with extreme speed, ending the fight against Caitlyn. Things are looking really bad right now. I have 2 fights left and I'm down 2 Pokemon right now. If I lose any more Pokemon, I am going to lose. Let's run it, Marshall. I lead Road Rage and Vandal into his Throw and Sock. KOing both of them quickly is very important. Throw is able to boost with Flame Orb and Guts, while Sock has Sturdy and a Salac Berry. Vandal goes through a Gem Boosted Earthquake, dropping Sock and Throw below half. But I made a mistake. My Volcarona didn't outspeed. Rest in peace, Road Rage. Throw is able to get burned and is now threatening huge damage. I bring in Impersonate, who can take most attacks from Marshall's Pokemon. Sock gets healed as I go for Protect and Earthquake. Throw lives and is able to Superpower before going down to Rough Skin. This is looking really bad. Mienshao comes in and can kill with Gem Boosted Acrobatics, and Sock is able to outspeed and kill Vandal. I switch in Treason and Sock goes for Payback on Impersonate, and Mienshao uses High Jump Kick on Treason. Impersonate is able to one-hit KO Mienshao before they can do any real damage. I predict for Realm to come in and see a kill on Treason, but because the rain is up, Polygraph comes in. I protect with Impersonate, expecting a Waterfall. Sock lands a critical Payback, almost killing Treason, and I get the Waterfall read right, and I'm able to hit Polygraph with a Psychic. In order to keep the run alive, I have to go for a play. I decide to Bullet Punch Sock, hoping to KO, but I just barely miss it. Sock uses Payback on Treason, killing them. I'm sorry, Treason. Polygraph Waterfalls Impersonate, doing a decent chunk. I'm down, but I'm not out yet. Daniel and Impersonate have to make a final stand. I'm able to KO Sock and Polygraph with Extreme Speed and Bullet Punch, leaving Justice Conkeldurr and Breloom. I double into Breloom with Extreme Speed and Bullet Punch to KO, breaking Sash and dodging a Mach Punch. It's only Conkeldurr left. Conkeldurr, Drain Punch! I might live. Oh!
Oh shit.
Okay, he sees a Mach Punch here, because he knows that's gonna kill.
Yeah.
So I have to protect here. Or actually, no, Bullet Punch.
No, he has way more HP than Breloom.
Yeah, no, he has way more HP than he has.
Protect him like Dragon Claw.
Or EQ. EQ is higher base power.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm protecting, so it doesn't matter. If he Mach Punches fucking Vandal, I'm gonna lose it. He didn't Mach Punch.
Oh.
It's probably Drain Punch, right? Why?
Oh!
Oh!
Holy shit!
And then Rough Skin pops.
Okay.
I think the only way out is Bullet Punch. Wait, no, he sees it.
No.
It's honestly random move on whatever. It's
Zen Headbutt. Zen Headbutt. You have to do Zen Headbutt Dragon Claw. I think.
I think Zen Headbutt E-Speed.
Okay.
Wait. Is expert belt stab? Yes!
Yes! Oh my god. Another crit! Jesus fuck.
Fucking
Oh my
shambles
God.
right now.
You have 2 Pokemon left in a dream.
My team right now is in shambles. I only have 2 Pokemon left, and I have 1 more fight to win. In order to win, I would have to play perfectly. I won't let this run end. Chantal leads Golurk and Drifblim. Both can't be KO'd in 1 hit. I don't know this yet. I protect him personally expecting Earthquake or Double Up, and Vandal goes for Shadow Claw, something I taught over Crunch before the fight. Vandal misses the KO on Drifblim and gets hit with a Hurricane, doing massive damage, and Golurk Earthquakes dropping Vandal to 25%. I can't let it end here. Chantal forward restores Drifblim as I double into Golurk with Shadow Claw Meteor Mash, scoring a KO. I can't let it end here. Frostlass comes in and sees a kill on Vandal with Blizzard. I have to make a play. Without calculating the damage first, I think Bullet Punch can 1-hit KO the Frostlass and Vandal can get damage on Drifblim, but I was wrong. Bullet Punch couldn't KO, and Vandal goes down to a Blizzard. Drifblim Thunderbolts, and there's nothing else I can do. Impersonate is able to KO Frostlass with 1 less Bullet Punch, but it's just impossible for him to win the 1v4. I failed. All of my Pokemon died. Embezzle, Trespass, Road Rage, Treason, Vandal, Impersonate, and everyone else I lost along the way. I couldn't do it. I failed. I played to the best of my abilities, but ultimately, I failed. But isn't that what the point of life is? To fail over and over again until you get it right. That's what life is about. The Nuzlocke is the closest thing to perfecting failure. No matter how hard you fall, you can always get back up. This story isn't going to end in failure. My name is Owen, OwenGC, and this is the story of how I won my first hardcore Nuzlocke. I can do it all again. My first team was not perfect by any means, but this team is. Luminary the Pikachu is a powerhouse. With her buffed attack and speed stats, giving her Light Ball lets her 1-hit KO almost everything in the game. Not only that, but because she's so frail, she can make the perfect partner for Resolute the Amoonguss. Resolute has amazing bulk and defensive typing, making it a premier user of Rage Powder and the perfect protector for Luminary. Lionheart the Metagross is of course an amazing tank and damage dealer. He can bail us out of almost any situation. Immortal is our Drizzle Slowbro. Treason was an amazing Pokemon. I don't have to tell you how good Immortal is at taking hits and shutting down fire types. Valor is our Volcarona this time around, but instead of Levitate as an ability, they have Drought. Being able to shut down water types and running dual weathers lets me adapt to almost anything that's thrown at me. And finally, the hero, the champion, Argonaut the Garchomp. This beast is able to outrun and rip through teams like nothing. He is my best Pokemon, my ace in the hole. I will win. Grimsley is up first. Luminary and Resolute are able to handle most of his team. Here's how. Luminary has very low defenses, making her a target for every Pokemon. Luminary also has the ability Lightning Rod, making her immune to electric moves. This forces Liepard and every other Pokemon with Sucker Punch to focus Luminary. By using Rage Powder, Resolute is able to completely stop any Pokemon from using Sucker Punch. This is how Luminary is able to KO Sharpedo, Absol, and Honchkrow. Houndoom comes in and threatens Fire Blast. I can't one-hit KO Luminary because of Focus Sash, and drawing in Fire Blast could kill Resolute. I switch Luminary to Argonaut and Resolute to Immortal. Sucker Punch fails and Fire Blast is weakened by Drizzle. I predict that Immortal will take a double up, so I protect taking the Sucker Punch, and Dragon Claw into Houndoom to break the Sash, and Argonaut takes a Dark Pulse. Extreme Speed is able to finish off Houndoom, and Immortal is able to slack off the Wild Charge. Argonaut is able to Earthquake Lipord, and Bisharp taking both KOs. Grimsley down. Next up is Caitlyn. I lead Luminary and Valor into her Sigilyph and Musharna. Luminary is able to score a one-hit KO with Thunderbolt, and Valor is able to one-hit KO Musharna with a gem-boosted Bug Buzz. Bronzong and Reuniclus come in and see kills on Luminary. Luminary Volt Switches bring in Argonaut, and Valor goes for a Stab Sun-boosted Heat Wave, picking up a double KO. Behem and Gothitelle are the only Pokemon left. Crunch just barely misses the KO on Behem, and Valor is able to one-hit KO Gothitelle with Bug Buzz. Argonaut is able to KO Behem the next turn with another Crunch. Deathless Caitlyn. Next on the chopping block is Marshall. I lead Luminary and Lionheart against his Throw and Sock. Luminary is baiting attacks, keeping Lionheart safe. I stop Luminary to Resolute, Resolute is able to tank a close combat, and Lionheart is able to land a gem-boosted Zen Headbutt on Throw, one-hit KOing it. Mienshao comes out and sees huge damage on Resolute with Acrobatics. I swap to Immortal, who takes a Stone Edge. See the Bryson TED Talk for why this happened. Payback bounces off of Lionheart and he's able to one-hit KO the Mienshao. Poliwrath comes out and combos Vacuum Wave and Close Combat with Sock on Lionheart, but it doesn't kill. Lionheart uses Iron Head to break Sturdy, and Immortal's able to pick up the KO. I switch Lionheart to Resolute, who's healed thanks to Regenerator, to take the incoming attacks. Resolute eats a Brick Break, and Immortal takes a Stone Edge right before landing a crit Psychic, one-hit KOing the Conkeldurr. Resolute is able to Rage Powder and grabs Breloom's Bullet Seed and whatever Poliwrath is using. Psychic is able to drop Breloom to Sash. I Rage Powder again and Psychic Poliwrath this time, dropping him to kill range. I do the same thing again, this time killing Breloom and then killing Poliwrath a turn later. Marshall executed. Now it's time for vengeance. It's time to face Chantal. She ended my run the last time. I won't let her do it again. I lead Valor and Argonaut as she leaves Drifblim and Golurk. But I messed up. Before going into the Marshall fight, I taught Argonaut Aerial Ace to maybe deal with something if he needed to, but I never re-taught him Shadow Claw. It's only the first turn, and I have to steer already. Dragon Claw is enough to put Golurk into kill range for Valor, and Valor rips a Stab, Gem, Sun-boosted Heat Wave, picking up the double KO. Jellicent and Chandelure come out and threaten huge damage of Fire Blast and Hydro Pump. I protect with Valor, trying to predict a double up. Dragon Claw is able to do a huge chunk to Chandelure. Shadow Ball does a decent chunk to Argonaut, and Protect is able to block the Hydro Pump. I switch Valor to Lionheart, clean up the Chandelure of Dragon Claw, and Lionheart takes the Hydro Pump. Mismagius comes in, and now Argonaut is threatened by a double up, so I switch Resolute in to tank. I get the read wrong, but Lionheart holds and is able to pick up a KO of Meteor Mash, but Resolute gets a special defense drop. Froslass comes in and is threatening to kill Shadow Ball and Blizzard. I have to switch Lionheart though. I switch Lionheart to Valor. Resolute takes a Shadow Ball from Froslass, almost killing because of the special defense drop. Jellicent tries to Will-O-Wisp Valor, but it has no effect. Resolute's Giga Drain is able to do some damage, but not a huge amount. Because Resolute is -2 special defense, both Pokemon see kills and will likely double up on Resolute. I protect Resolute, blocking the Shadow Ball and the Will-O-Wisp that comes out. But Heat Wave misses Froslass, the one Pokemon I wanted to hit with Heat Wave. The only way out of this fight deathless is to win a coin flip. Will Resolute protect? I'm so sorry, Resolute. The only way you can make it through the Elite Four is if we win a coin flip. Heads or tails, baby. Failed. Oh! Wait, hold on. We can win this. We can win this still. As long as it doesn't freeze. It doesn't freeze. Okay, Heat Wave. This is gonna kill Froslass, and it might kill Jellicent. Kills Jellicent. Yes! Oh my god! Chantal's dead! We beat Chantal! We just had a deathless Elite Four. Holy fuck. That's it. I beat the Elite Four. It's not over yet, though. There are still 2 fights left. This is the last chance I have to prepare and change my team around. My team is already amazing, but I have to make one change. Resolute the Amoonguss is an amazing doubles Pokemon, but the last 2 fights are single battles. Her replacement? Messiah the Simipour, the Fast Water Spouter, the Starman. Luminary, Lionheart, Valor, Immortal, Messiah, and Argonaut. This is my final team. Every encounter, every fight, every death, every attempt, everything I've done has led up to this moment. It's all or nothing. I will be the hero of this story, and I will win this Nuzlocke. I leave Luminary in front of his Zekrom. Just kidding, that's a Zoroark. I outspeed and I'm able to one-hit KO Brick Break. 5 Pokemon left. Aerodactyl comes in and sees an Earthquake kill, but Luminary is able to just barely outspeed and one-hit KOs with Thunderbolt. 4 Pokemon left. Magmortar comes in and can't be one-hit KO'd by Luminary. I have to switch. I use Volt Switch, chunking him and sending in Immortal. Immortal's Drizzle is able to shut down Magma Storm, and Immortal themselves bait Thunderbolt, giving a completely safe switch into Argonaut. Argonaut is able to outspeed and KOs with Earthquake. 3 Pokemon left. Porygon Z comes in and sees a kill of Ice Beam 100% of the time. I have to switch. I bring in Messiah on an Ice Beam, doing minimal damage, but I made a grave mistake. I predict that Porygon Z will go for Thunderbolt instead of its crazy stab adaptability gem boosted tri-attack, and I switch to Luminary. We want Luminary to come in, because it should see Thunderbolt kill. If I get this wrong, I'm gonna have to steer so hard. Why? Luminary, thank you for your service. You were the best fucking rat I could ask for. Messiah is able to come back in, and a stab, rain boosted, gem boosted water spout is able to pick up the kill. I never should have stopped Luminary. 2 Pokemon left. With Messiah out, Zekrom comes in. Zekrom has a base of 150 attack and threatens one-hit KO after one-hit KO on every single Pokemon, except one. Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Argonaut Earthquake. Argonaut! It's a one-hit fucking KO. N has one last Pokemon left. Slowbro is his last Pokemon, but I still need to steer carefully. I bring in my own Slowbro to take the Gem and Rain boosted Surf, which still does crazy damage. Slowbro sees Surf as his highest damaging move and will only spam Surf as I start using Slack Off. He surfs again, I Scald. He surfs, I Slack Off. He surfs, I Scald. He surfs, Slack Off. He surfs, I Scald. And finally, I win the War of Attrition. N is defeated with only 1 death. But I have no time to mourn Luminary. There is still one last fight. Gets this. I bring in Luminary. Whoops. I bring in Argonaut. If they can one-shot a Zekrom, they sure as hell can one-shot a Drapion. Earthquake is able to pick up the one-hit KO. Genesect comes in after. Argonaut cannot one-hit KO. Genesect is holding a Focus Sash and is threatening an Ice Beam. I make the switch to Valor, setting up the Sun and taking the Ice Beam. Genesect is able to outspeed Valor and lands a Thunderbolt. Valor is able to drop Genesect to Focus Sash with Heat Wave. Getsis has to heal Genesect here, allowing me to one-hit KO with Heat Wave. Electros comes in and is threatening a KO on Valor. I bring in Lionheart, but I predicted the wrong move. Lionheart gets blasted by a Sun Boost of Flamethrower, almost killing them. I switch to Argonaut to take the Flamethrower, but it crits, leaving me at almost half. I Dragon Claw, but Electros lives and fires off another Flamethrower. I kill him the next turn with another Dragon Claw, and Hydreigon comes in. Hydreigon can outspeed and one-shot everything on my team. I have to go for it. I click Dragon Claw. Argonaut outsped. Argonaut, yes! Yes, Argonaut! Yes! Yes! The fight isn't over yet. He still has 2 Pokemon left. 2 more Pokemon. It's Dusknoir and Gyarados. Expert Belt boosted Shadow Claw. It's not stab though, but it is super effective. I This might actually KO. One hit KO. It was a crit. It was a crit. It was a crit. Oh my god. Argonaut. Thank you. Thank you so much. But this is how we win. Okay, it didn't kill me. I still might outspeed. Argonaut, thank you for your service. You're the best goddamn Garchomp ever. Should have speeded. I might have thrown. Although, I don't think it's over yet. It's not over. It's not over. Drizzle, he might be +2 attack, but Immortal is a fucking wall. Immortal, fucking send it. Psychic this bitch. Aqua Tail, we resist that. We resist that. The Blaze Black Hardcore Nuzlocke is over. Oh my god. I would pop off right now, but it is 12:30. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I genuinely cannot believe I did it. I did it. I won. Holy shit, okay!